Hello guys, welcome to this part. Now we're going to make our character aim while we hold the right click pressed. So let's begin. Let's go to project settings, input, and add an action mapping, which is going to be called aim. And we are going to select the right, close the gamepad, right mouse button for this action. Now, let's go to our character and start working in here. First of all, let's create a boolean, which is going to be called is aiming. And now let's duplicate one of our check macros. I'm going to name it can we aim. Right, let's open can we jump, because here we don't want to be able to jump while we aim. So let's copy this node. We want one more condition to jump. We want not to be able to jump while we are aiming. So let's add this condition and let's go back to the new can we aim. And for now, we only want one condition, not to jump. We don't want to be able to aim while we are on the air. Okay, all right. And just to be better categorized, we're going to add them to a new category by writing their tags. And I'm going to add all these to this category. Okay, we can close this. And we are going to create a function to make our character zoom when we right click and simulate the aim effect as well as the animations needed. So let's click the plus sign here to create a new function and name it aim zoom. Okay, this function is going to have two inputs. The first one is going to be boolean and name it activate. And the second one is going to be called field of view, and it's going to be a float. The reason of making a function and not just writing the code is because when later we're going to have multiple weapons, we want different weapons to have different type of zooms, even zoom more or less. So this function is going to be handy in that case. So first of all, we want to check if we are able to aim, and if we are, we need a branch to check if we want to activate or deactivate the zoom. So if we want to activate the zoom, then we want to check one more thing. We want to check if we are currently aiming. If we are aiming, then and we want to activate it, then we have nothing to do, just return. Okay, let's go to the other part. If we want to activate it and we're not currently aiming, we want to actually activate it. I'm going to do it in a moment. First of all, let's go to make this part as well. If we want to deactivate it, so we are here, I'm going to create a branch and again check if we are aiming, because if we want to activate it and we are not aiming, then we have nothing to do. Okay, so in these two spots, here and here, we want to actually activate the aim zoom. So both of these we're going to connect to set is aiming to true. First of all, I'm going to set the is aiming to true, and then I'm going to get my camera, set field of view. I'm going to set the field of view to, and now here I have to select a float, depending on if we want to activate it or deactivate the zoom. If we want to activate the zoom, then we are going to set the field of view to the desired field of view. Field of view does our camera to zoom. That's what it does actually. So the less is the field of view, the more zoom we have. You are going to understand it better when I'm going to try it in a moment. But if we want to deactivate it, the case B, we just want to go back to 90, which is the default field of view in the game. All right. And I want to move slower while we aim. So I'm going to get my character component, character movement component, get max walk speed, and plus here. And now I'm going to select again a float because I'm going to depend it on activate or deactivate. If we want to activate it, so we start aiming, I want to decrease my current movement speed by 100, but if we want to deactivate it, then I have to get back to plus 100, so I get back to normal speed. Okay, and then I want to get my character movement again and set max walk speed to this value. So depending on if we want to activate or deactivate my aiming, I decrease or increase my current walk speed. And when I do this, I can return. Let's compile and save. So now this function does what I need in order to zoom, and I'm going to test it in a moment. Let's go back to our event graph. Let's right click and search for our aim action event we created in the project settings. And it's so simple. Drag the aim zoom twice. The first time when I press, I want to activate the zoom. And for now, just for testing, I'm going to use 70. This is going to be different for each weapon. And when I release, I just want to leave this false, so it's going to be deactivated, and the field of view is not needed when we deactivate. So if I compile and save and hit play, you're going to see this kind of effect. So I'm moving my hands as normal, and when I right click, my camera zooms in and out. Oh, sorry, I did something wrong. In here, I don't want to set the aiming to true, but I want to plug the activator in the aiming. So if I want to activate it, the aiming is going to be true. If I want to deactivate it, the aiming is going to be false. So let's hit play again. And when I right click, my camera zooms in. When I leave my right click, the camera goes back again. So I have this kind of effect. Of course, the animation doesn't change. So we have to check this, how to fix it. It's pretty simple. Let's go back to test mode and start working on our animations. First of all, we have to create like these two new blend spaces for when we actually aiming, while we crouch, or while we are standing. Okay, so first of all, let's right click and duplicate and name this aim stand underscore BS. Okay, let's double click. Here it is. And delete all these animations. And before I populate this again, I'm going to save it and duplicate it. So I have an empty one again. I'm going to name this aim crouch underscore BS and double click to open this. Okay, let's work on crouch first. So search here for iron and crouch. So backwards to these positions as we did previously. Forward to these two positions, left over there, and right here and here. This is ready. So simple. We have done this before, guys. So let's go back to aim stand BS, and now just delete crouch and search for walk. Okay, so backwards to these two positions, I only change this, nothing on these numbers. Left, oops, left here and there, and right over there, and backwards, it seems I forgot it, over there. Okay, so let's save this as well, and our blend spaces are ready. Let's go back now to our animation blueprint. First of all, we want to get our character, drag from there, and get ease aiming, and promote this to a new variable, ease aiming, which is going to store the value of our character is aiming to our blueprints, to our animation blueprint value to the is aiming. So compile and save. Let's go back to our animation graph, and we are going to need again a new aim offset for aiming. So let's create a new aim offset. Go to animations, go to aim offsets, right click, create a new folder, aim, and right click again, new folder, heap. Let's get all these and drag them in the heap folder. Let's go back to animations and get the aim space iron sights and move it in here. And as we previously did, we're going to create an aim offset for when we are aiming because it's different. Okay, so I'm going to name this aim offset underscore C, and let's copy the name, and again duplicate aim offset D and duplicate it one more time, aim offset U for up. Okay, let's go to C, and if you remember, we want to go to the start and right click, remove frame 1 to 87, and that's it. Let's go to D. For D, we want to go around 20, remove 0 to 20, and then 1 from 60 to 68, and then go to U, which is around 10. We want to go to 10 over there, remove 0 to 10, and then remove, right click and remove 1 to 78. Now select these three, right click, asset actions, bulk edit via property matrix, and go to additive settings and take mesh page, select the animation frame, and now be careful. Now we want to find idle rifle iron sights this time. Okay, and now press Ctrl, Shift, and S to save everything. Close this, and let's go back to our folder. Right click, Animation, Aim Offset 1D for this skeleton, and name this aim underscore offset. Let's double click, and this is going to be pitch from -90 to 90. All right. Aim. Let's search for aim, and now we want the aim offset C here, the D over there, and the U over here. That's it. Save it, and now we are ready to continue our aim blueprint. Let's go to our anim blueprint. I'm going to right click here and search for by boolean. Blend poses by bool. This is what we need, and we're going to plug the is aiming in here, and I am going to copy this because I am going to use it a lot this time. So basically, before I copy this, I'm going to copy this, copy and paste it. So what does this do? This blend poses by boolean. So depending on the value of this boolean, is going to use this or this pose. If it is true, it's going to use this. If it is false, it's going to use this. So as you imagine, if we are aiming or not, is going to decide which animation is going to play. So on this part, if we are not aiming, we want to use what we've done so far. But if we are aiming, we want to use another aim offset, not this one, but the one we just created. So search for in here, sorry, aim again, and this is the new aim offset we created. So drag this in here, plug this in, and this to the true. Get aim pitch and plug it in here, and the result to the result. So select everything and Alt F to fix our graph. And now copy these two because we are going to need them a lot. Okay? All right. So now let's go to in the locomotion, and we are going to change every single one of these two. No, two. Every single one of these. Okay? So double click and paste these two nodes in here. Plug the result. And now, if we are not aiming, so it's false, we want to play the rifle hip. And if we're not, let's search for iron sights. So we need the idle rifle iron sights to plug this in here, and Alt F to fix our graph. Next, let's go to jog, paste the blend poses. This is going to plug on the false pose, and the result over there. And now we want to use our new blend space, the aim stunned blend space. And of course, we need the direction and the speed. Select everything and Alt F. Okay, let's go back. Now here, let's paste the blend poses. This is going to false, but if we are aiming, let's search for iron again. We need the crouch, stand to crouch. So where it is, stand to crouch rifle iron sights. Be careful to select the correct one. Select everything, Alt F. Let's go back. And now we have to change this as well because it says time remaining ratio stand to crouch rifle hip. But if we're aiming, we are not going to use this animation, so this is not going to work. So we're going to add an OR here, plug this to the results, and search for remaining, but this time I'm going to select crouch rifle iron sights, and from there less or equal to 0.6, plug this here. So we are going to pass this animation from this animation to this animation if we are using this or this animation. Okay, so let's move on. Crouch idle. Let's paste our blend by bool, plug this to false, and now we want the crouch idle rifle iron sights to plug this in here. Select everything and Alt F. Let's go back, go to crouch jog, and now we need the aim crouch BS, paste our blend poses, plug this to false, and this to true. And of course I need the direction and speed. Select everything and Alt F. Let's go back and go inside here, paste our blend poses. This is going to false, and let's search for iron, and I want crouch to stand, which is this one, crouch to stand rifle, and I have exactly the same issue with what I had in here. So to pass from this position to this position, I have to add an OR here and search for remaining ratio to crouch to stand rifle iron sights, and less or equal to 0.6, plug this here, select Alt F. Let's compile and save, and if we hit play we should be ready. Let's check this out. Let's hit play, and while I move, jump, sprint or crouch, everything works as we created in the previous episodes. But now when I right click, if you can see, I start using a different animation. Okay, while I walk or go back or right or even sprint, I use something different. If I leave my left click, I go back to the hip position, and if you can see, my arms go up and down as intended with the previously created aim offset. If I right click and aim, again my hands go up and down, but now with a new aim offset. And of course if I crouch, I can aim as well using different animations, as you can see. Okay, so that's what we created with this large, I guess, part. I hope you understood the most of it. If you want to ask anything, if you want me to make something more clear, please be free to ask in the comments. Subscribe, like the video, and till the next time, see you around, guys. Thank you for watching.